Let's create flowers, wooden flowers. Piece by piece, each flower will slowly come to life in my hands. Sunflower, camellia, carnations, roses, and lilac. Let's start with the sunflower. The sunflower is often called the flower of the sun because it follows the light throughout the day. In the morning, its face turns east to greet the sunrise, and by evening, it follows the sun westward. That's why in many cultures, the sunflower represents loyalty, warmth, and positivity. There's also a Greek myth about this flower. A nymph named Clytie was in love with the sun god Apollo. She would sit and watch him travel across the sky each day, never looking away. But Apollo did not return her love. Still, she gazed at him faithfully until the gods transformed her into a sunflower, forever turning her face towards the sun. It's a little bittersweet. Sunflowers carry both joy and longing in this story. And yet, when we see a field of them, we can't help but feel cheerful, as if hundreds of little suns are smiling back at us. Next, the camellia. Camellias are often called the winter flower because they bloom even in the cold, standing bright when most other flowers have faded. That's why they symbolize resilience, faithfulness, and everlasting love. In Korea, camellias are tied to stories of loyalty. During the Joseon dynasty, camellias were often planted near temples and palaces, representing integrity and constancy. Even today, camellias are a symbol of devotion, a flower that stays beautiful even through hardship. In Japan, camellias are called tsubaki. They were admired by samurai because the flower's head falls off whole, not petal by petal. A powerful symbol of dignity and a reminder of life's fragility. In China, camellias are sometimes called the flower of the southern mountains, and they symbolize eternal love between couples. And camellia oil, pressed from its seeds, has been used in East Asia for centuries to care for hair and skin. So this flower is not only beautiful, but it carries cultural meaning, practical uses, and a quiet strength. Next, carnations. Soft and ruffled, but never boring. In Korea, they're the ultimate Parents' Day flower. Children pin a bright red carnation to their parents' jackets, a small but powerful way of saying thank you. But carnations have been loved long before that tradition. The ancient Greeks and Romans adored them too. The name comes from the Latin carnis, for flesh, because of their pinkish color. But their scientific name, dianthus, means flower of the gods. Not a bad title to carry around for over 2,000 years. And the colors tell stories. Red for admiration and deep love. Pink for gratitude and a gentle, thankful heart. White for innocence and remembrance. In France, white carnations often appear at memorials, while in Spain, bold red ones are part of passionate flamenco dances. It's like the carnation is a passport, carrying different meanings wherever it goes. Here's a fun little fact. Carnations are incredibly hardy. Unlike some delicate flowers, they last a long time after being cut. That's why you'll often see them in long ceremonies, weddings, graduations, and even big parades, because they don't give up easily. And they've been secret messengers too. During the Victorian era, people used carnations to send coded messages. If someone handed you a striped carnation, it meant, "Sorry, I can't be with you." Handing over a solid red, pure love. Imagine texting with flowers before phones existed. Oh, and carnations have a spicy clove-like scent. If you lean in close to the real ones, they smell warm and slightly sweet, almost like baking spice. So while they may look gentle, carnations are tough, full of history, and kind of romantic rebels, lasting long, traveling far, and saying exactly what they feel. Now we come to the rose, probably the most famous flower in the world. The rose has been a symbol of love, beauty, and even power for thousands of years. In Greek mythology, the rose was said to have been created by Aphrodite, the goddess of love herself. When her lover, Adonis, was killed, her tears mixed with his blood, and from that sorrow, roses bloomed. A love story written in petals. In England, roses even became political icons. During the War of the Roses, the red rose stood for the House of Lancaster, and the white rose for the House of York. A literal fight for the throne told through roses. And of course, roses speak their own colourful language. Red for passion, white for purity, pink for gratitude, yellow for friendship, even black roses, rare and mysterious, can stand for rebirth or farewell. Here's a curious fact. Roses have been around long before humans ever wrote poems about them. Fossils show they're over 35 million years old. And today, there are more than 300 species and thousands of cultivated varieties. The largest rose bush in the world lives in Arizona, USA. It's so huge it covers over 8,000 square feet, big enough to shade a small house, and it blooms with more than 200,000 blossoms each spring. And roses aren't just beautiful, they're practical too. Their petals can be eaten, used to make rose water, fragrant teas, and even sweet desserts. They've inspired Shakespeare. He mentioned them over 70 times. Painters, perfumers, and entire love songs. So yes, roses are more than just flowers. They're part of human memory. And now the lilac, soft, airy, and impossibly fragrant. Lilacs bloom only for a short time in spring, but when they do, they fill the air with a sweetness you can't mistake. That's why they've come to symbolize fleeting beauty and first love. Moments that feel magical because they don't last forever. In the Victorian era, people used flowers to speak secret messages, and lilacs meant, "I'm remembering our first love." Imagine receiving a lilac bouquet back then. No words, just scent, and color carrying everything unsaid. In Russia, there's a sweet tradition. Hold a lilac blossom over a newborn's head to wish them wisdom. Families believed the gentle petals would bring a bright future. Even the colours whisper their own meanings. Purple lilacs say, I felt love for the first time. White lilacs stand for innocence and purity. Blue lilacs, though rare, carry tranquility and happiness. So one simple branch can hold entire stories. Lilacs have also been treasured in early America. George Washington and Thomas Jefferson planted them in their gardens, and they still bloom at historic homes each spring, like living memory. Fun fact, lilacs are incredibly tough plants. They can survive freezing winters and still come back with a burst of purple every year. Gardeners say once you plant a lilac bush, it can outlive you and keep blooming for decades, sometimes a century. And the scent? Scientists say lilac fragrance triggers nostalgia in the brain. That's why one whiff can suddenly transport you to a childhood garden or a long ago spring day. So while lilacs live their lives quietly and briefly, they leave behind something bigger: memory, love, and hope tucked into every petal. And now, each flower finds its place: camellia, lilac, carnation, rose, and sunflower. Together, they become a little garden of stories, gathered and built by hand. Made with care, tied with joy, this is Knot Bloom.